Liam Lawson. We've all heard the rumors that he could be replaced as soon as next weekend. Uh, I mean, this is tough. P20 in both qualifying sessions is absolutely absurd. He made up some ground in the sprint, showed some promise, and then in the race was like nowhere. He's getting overtaken by Ollie Behrman, getting made fun of on the radio. Just an underwhelming Grand Prix. And then both Racing Bull drivers had incredible weekends. I mean, obviously it got undone by strategy, and I'll probably rant about that in a little bit because I'm still frustrated about it from last year. But with both Racing Bull drivers looking as well as they did, Liam Lawson looking as terrible as he did, was this Liam Lawson's last weekend in Formula One?
I mean, it could be. I think if a switch is made, Liam might be just back in the Racing Bull car. I don't see them kicking Liam completely out, promoting Yuki or Isaac, and then bringing someone else into the Racing Bull team. That just doesn't make a lot of sense to me.
The streets are saying Franco Colapinto. That's what all the random
God.
Instagram news sites are saying.
I mean, I guess that's a possibility, but I mean, that would just be crazy. I mean, that'd be great news for Jack Doohan, to be honest with you. It'd be the best news he has heard in a long time, but I think that Liam's got to have a little bit more time. It seems kind of absurd to replace him this early in the season from my point of view, but I'm not Helmut Marko. I'm not Christian Horner, so I don't have a lot of insight, but it just seems a little excessive to replace him this early in the season from my point of view.
Yeah, I feel like part of this pressure to make the swap is that it's the Japanese Grand Prix coming up. Like, I feel like if we were at the calendar from 3 years ago and Japan is still like the 18th round of the season, then we wouldn't be having this conversation. Like, we clearly would give him at least 5 races. And it's just absurd the way Formula One has gone the past couple years, where driver swaps are just like a normal thing. And we're like, if a driver doesn't perform in 5 races, they're out. It's like Liam Lawson is still a rookie. He's done like 12 races in the sport. I feel like we have to give him some time. Yes, these performances are terrible, but he lost some time in testing. He lost a practice session in Australia. There was only one practice session here because it was a sprint weekend. He's new to these tracks. He's new to the car. Like Japan, if he stinks in Japan, which he lived at while he did Super Formula and did well there, if he performs terribly here, maybe it is time to think about a swap down the road or even soon, because then you think something fundamentally is wrong with the pairing of him and that car. But 2 races into the season, it just seems kind of harsh and a little too quick for me, because I feel like Yuki Tsunoda is kind of destined for the same fate.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. And I think it was the craziest thing about it was like immediately yesterday after the race, it was like rumors are at full bore 100%. Like, I am very, very strong rumors in terms of how many, news outlets are reporting this on Instagram and TikTok and all this stuff. So it's like, are we really gonna move that quickly? Like, I mean, obviously I haven't seen anything credible from Red Bull to say that, Liam's been replaced and or going to be replaced, but just crazy to me how quickly those rumors came on.
Yeah, I've learned more and more the past couple years to just take every single speculation I see online, these news accounts, just with the smallest grain of salt. So we can talk about them, we can laugh about them, but until something official is out, I'm not buying it. And Yuki Tsunoda is a great driver. Like, I feel like he has taken another step forward this year. He's still no match for Verstappen. So if Yuki Tsunoda is finishing 11th instead of 15th, like, is that better? Is that worth it? Like, did we just ruin 2 drivers' careers just so we could finish on the fringes of the points instead of getting knocked out in Q1? Like, I don't know if that's worth it.
Yeah, I agree. And I mean, I think there's something fundamentally wrong with the car that Red Bull maybe doesn't understand. And I think maybe their efforts would be better focused in trying to understand and figure out, okay, what are the issues with the car? How can we understand it better? Rather than, all right, let's figure out how to put more pressure on Liam. Let's figure out how to, make him perform better. Obviously, that's something important to focus on too. But it's like, for Liam Lawson, I can't imagine the roller coaster of emotions that the last year and a half has been in his life. It's crazy.
He's looked like he's aged like 10 years in the last 2 Grand Prix weekends. I feel horrible for him. I know he's got to be under a lot of stress. I know we just talked about how this is a long season. In my mind, if you're Red Bull, write it off. 2025 is over. You're not winning the Constructors' Championship. You're going to finish P4. That's just the way it is. Max Verstappen could finish P4 on his own. There's no point in just absolutely obliterating your junior driver program for the sake of 2025. Like, start looking towards next year. You know you have a new chance in the new regulations. You can reset your driver lineup for next year. You want to keep Max happy because the rumors are always swirling of him to Mercedes or Aston Martin. So I think 2025, kind of a loss. Cut your losses. Don't screw up anybody else's career. Maybe play it safe on your driver lineup a little bit.